All right, let's go over the major moments in the debate divided by topic. But keep in mind that Biden refused to do a drug test or get checked for an earpiece.
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is.
Incorrect. The president nominates, the Senate votes. Trump is the president, and the Senate is Republican majority until at least January. You have no argument.
Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now. Make sure you, in fact, let people know your senators. I'm not going to answer the question.
Well, okay then.
Over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well, I'll give you an opportunity.
Excuse me. I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a big chunk of Obamacare. That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst part of Obamacare.
The individual mandate was what forced people to give up their private health insurance provider and costs around, I don't know, $3,000 to $4,000. If you didn't pay, then every year you got taxed like $700 or 2.5% of your income, whichever was higher. That's an illegal tax. The problem is that Trump got rid of this, but not Obamacare entirely. Obamacare made healthcare more expensive than usual, but without the mandate, it doesn't have any financial source. The system cannot survive and needs to be thrown out. But the Republicans in Congress already dropped the ball there. For some reason, though, the whole world thinks that the president is responsible for everything. But yeah, the House and the Senate are in charge of fixing these things, and they never do.
Chris, that was the worst part of Obama.
Just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Right. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you.
Throughout the debate, the moderator editorializes many of Trump's questions, but not towards Biden. There was nothing symbolic about the executive order because it did what Obamacare claimed to do. Obamacare would charge you, $30,000 in premiums and another $12,000 deductible. Wow. How nice for someone with pre-existing conditions. Plus, a massive number of hospitals. That includes a bunch of top cancer treatment hospitals that couldn't even be used according to that plan. But somehow, trying to get rid of that system is bad. Biden wants to expand this broken system. And also, there's this moment that Trump failed to bring up.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people.
The country ran out of toilet paper, but you want him to make people panic more? Biden also said the government did nothing, despite restricting travel, letting companies make better test kits, setting up tons of emergency facilities, which were never even used, and reducing limitations of available treatments, plus a bunch of other things.
If we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist.
Yeah, his answers tonight are all over the place, which is his main flaw in debating. There were many times he could have crushed Biden, but he goes on tangents like this. Anyway, the U.S. numbers are just as suspect as China's. I've done several videos on this, but he should have mentioned that, I think.
This is his economy he's shut down.
Biden apparently doesn't know that the president can't control what states do. Every state that has a harsh lockdown is run by someone from his party, and that's where the economy took a hit. Trump has been the one saying to open up. Everyone knows that. Biden's the one who's saying they're going to shut everything down until April if he wins. Trump mentions all of these things a few times, thankfully.
You folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID?
Wrong question, Joe. Given 94% of the deaths from this virus were people with 2 or more comorbidities, with heart failure, cardiac arrest, dementia, and poisoning being one of the most common ones, this is clearly not the bringer of Armageddon, just a good excuse for hospitals to get federal funding. The real question you should ask is why New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey were forcing hospitals to send infected people to nursing homes, which caused a third of the deaths.
President Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds packed together, thousands of people.
Outside.
Outside, yes, sir, agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with
Because nobody will show up.
people with.
What's true? Nobody shows up to his rallies.
All right. Are you questioning
No, I think
the
masks
efficacy
are okay.
of
You have to
masks?
understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on, when I think I need it. I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Now, regarding Trump getting the virus, I shouldn't have to say this, but since Korean media is so stupid, I will remind them that getting the virus is extremely likely and means nothing. The moderator also admitted that they didn't follow proper procedure at the debate, which is basically what I would expect from a media who wishes for Trump to die.
That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts.
They said it would
This
take a
guy's-
miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing.
I'm the guy that
He
brought
totally
back the
gave up on
automobile
manufacturing.
Let him
industry.
know.
We brought back, I was asked to bring back Chrysler and General Motors. We brought them back right here in the state of Ohio and Michigan. He blew it. They're gone. He blew it.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies
No,
came in from Germany, from Japan,
no,
went to Michigan, and went to
no,
Ohio.
they're not having
And they didn't come in with you.
Mr. Vice President.
Obama famously said those jobs are never coming back, and Trump notably brought them back. So Joe was blatantly lying, or his dementia just got worse. He repeats throughout the debate that Trump worsened the economy after saying that Obama gave him a booming economy, which is stupid. Even left-wing newspapers call Obama's recovery the worst since the Great Depression, and Trump's economy was record-breaking. He'll lose points from independence. Joe also refused to answer Trump's questions about how his son got millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Ukraine. And the moderator decided he had to protect Joe from answering those questions because he's so objective.
All right, that's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
He didn't take that.
Vice President, no.
Can I be honest? It's a very important
Try to be
question.
honest.
He stood up.
No,
He stood up,
the answer to
and
the
he
question is
threatened
no.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
That is
you know what,
absolutely not
stop.
true.
Now, I've shown the video of Biden bragging about this threat, but this moderator, he's doing more work to protect Biden than Biden is tonight.
He's talking about defunding the police.
That is not true.
He doesn't have any law
Well, you-
support.
look,
He has no law enforcement
That's not
support.
true.
Almost
That's
nothing.
not- look.
All right, who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go
Look,
ahead.
look.
Think. We have time.
We don't have time to do
No,
anything.
think
except
about
listen.
it.
Look,
Name one
folks,
law
folks,
enforcement group that came out and
I think,
supported
gentlemen,
you.
I think I'm going to take back the
There aren't.
moderator's
I don't
role,
think there
and
are any.
I want to get to another subject.
And that's how these memes about the moderator were born.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do that,
specifically
but
do it?
Go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
what are you- what
If
are you-
look-
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists
Who
and
would
right
you like me to condemn?
white supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
His
This
own
is a left.
FBI director
This
said
is a left-wing
threatening
problem.
white
Go ahead, sir.
supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you gotta be
not
kidding.
militia.
It's amazing how the left pretends Trump hasn't already condemned white supremacists like 50 times, but they have worse dementia than Biden does or something. And the Proud Boys, they're not even white supremacists. Their leader is half black and half Cuban. Nor did they start any fights. But yeah, Antifa is just an idea. There have been more than 4 months of riots by these ideas, while the last time white supremacists were violent was like 100 years ago. Notice the moderator doesn't make Biden condemn Antifa, because this is an illegitimate debate, which is why Trump has to keep bringing up all these topics.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
Well, yeah, that basically sums everything up. Biden tried to get dirty like Trump, but no one really wants someone else with Trump's characteristics, and especially Biden because he's not been good at it. Trump dominated him the whole night. Like, what's he gonna do in foreign negotiations? Come on, man, just try, the thing. No, like he comes off worse from this and from just making shit up all night. But Trump had some good lines, but he's not a good debater. So he comes across as scattered and he interrupts too much. I think he should just let Biden continue to talk. Because, we say you do not interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. And Biden talking in of itself is a mistake. He actually tried to say Trump belittles the military, which actually comes from an article with no sources. But days before, on video, Biden called the military stupid bastards. And the media pretends, oh, it's just fake news. Fucking hate everyone. Ultimately, this debate will likely change very little since people don't know about all this stuff. Trump needs to prepare better for the next 2 debates. Meanwhile, next week, I'm looking forward to Kamala looking like a complete dumbass in the vice president debates.